Hello and welcome to Loon Lovers Live, where we're chatting with fans of the Game Changers series and the
Heated Rivalry TV
show. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Anne, and today we're meeting with Kaden Connors to talk about his experience with the books and the show. Kaden is an actor, writer, and producer who, when he's not tempting Ilya, was also featured in Netflix's The Wrong Paris last year. Welcome, Kaden.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Tell us where we can find you on social media.
Yeah, so you can find me, my name at Kaden Connors on either Instagram or TikTok. That's where I like to be.
Those are good places, yes. Where are you from?
So I am actually from outside of Toronto, Ontario. I kind of grew up in and around Kitchener, Cambridge, Waterloo area. It's about like an hour west of Toronto. Yeah.
And when did you first read Heated Rivalry?
So I first read the book back when I was auditioning for the show. To be honest, like I knew of like smut novels, but I never really like immersed myself in them. One of the first queer books I ever read had a lot of like intimate kind of like they spoke about the sexual encounters, but it wasn't quite necessarily smut.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, this was like my first kind of intro to it. And so when I was auditioning for the show, actually, I got the breakdown first for Ilya.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've mentioned it to a couple of people, and that's like super typical for film as well. Like you'll audition for some roles and then they'll find a slot for you if they really like you. And they always start with like the leads and then
Mhm.
supporting and they work their way down, obviously, because they want their leads and some of the larger parts as far out as possible from production to prepare. So anyway, I was auditioning for Ilya and I bought the book and read it because I wanted to just fully understand it. And yeah, it was I couldn't put it down. I couldn't put it down. It was very as a way of really just like wrapping you in. And then I swear like books do this in a way that TV series do it differently, but books really can just like absorb you. You're lost. You're just like gone in the book. So
We're definitely fans.
And what do the books mean to you?
for me, um, they're a really beautiful. I've said this before to people. Like what I love about the books and the show is that it really just merges like a lot of the things we want all together. And like often, sometimes we think about smut as surface level. There is no depth to it, whatever, depending on what you're talking about, because it's like the kind of the word language version of like a visual one.
Right.
Hmm.
And often people just think that there's nothing there, but at the same time, like we as human beings are like there's that really beautiful sexual side of us as people. But then you have like the healthy, incredible, beautiful, real storytelling where like these characters have arcs and they're super developed, etc. What I loved about this book and the show is that you get all of it. It's like so well rounded. You get this thing that is like, very real that we all kind of crave as human beings mixed with like well, I mean, both of those aspects are cravings, I think, of being human, right? Like we crave that depth and connection and intimacy. So, um, for me, I loved how the show is able to do all of that together. And as a lot of people have said, the happy ending. I think a lot
Yeah.
of like queer content kind of really highlights a lot of the tragedy and like the struggle, right? In a world where we still see that, and there's so much value to that, but at the same time, we in Heat Rivalry we get that like happy ending. That's just so. It's something that so many queer people were robbed of, and like, do you know what I mean? They almost
Yeah.
get to live that through the experience of like the book and the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
Have a favorite character in the books or the series?
have books?
Yeah, so I was really thinking about this. I really love all like so many of these characters because they really did a good job at fleshing everyone out and like, getting a good idea of them. I'm gonna pick Rose Landry.
Yes! All right. Rose.
Um, I'm gonna pick Rose Landry because and I've been seeing a lot of stuff about people talking about how the show, Jacob and the team did a really good job at like having these supporting female characters being they're just so on point. They're just
Yes.
so like they're so beautiful and important to the story and the growth of these characters, the leads. And I love that. But Rose Landry really reminds me of like the power of like female friendship to a lot of queer men. A lot of like, we'll just say a lot of gay men often find themselves just like relating to and circling themselves with women, for obvious reasons, and they find their safety and they flock. That's their community. And Rose Landry really is that beautiful example of like women who come alongside like a man who's in such a situation and is really just like I'm here to see you succeed and I want to see you happy, and it's just this like beautiful friendship without any like ulterior motives, and just like it's really incredible. And I feel like I've experienced that in my own personal life, in my own journey. Women like the Rose Landry women, and they're the most powerful people a lot of gay men will ever come across, truly. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How about a favorite moment from the books?
That one's hard too because I have so many. Can I give like a few?
Yeah.
But I'll talk about
Sure.
one specifically. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I really love the scene in the bathroom between Shane and Ilya. I think it was episode 2, when Shane kind of just confronts him for the first time, and his wall kind of comes down, and he's super vulnerable. Um, both in the book, but also, in the show, I thought it was just a really beautiful first moment of vulnerability,
Mm-hmm.
truly between the boys. And yeah, Hudson really blew me away in that scene. Yeah, it was incredible to watch. And then obviously, like the big kiss was just such a powerful moment.
What was your favorite part of season 1 of the show?
I think about so many moments that really made me emotional. But the number one that I'm gonna choose is the scene with in that moment with Shane and his mom.
Hmm.
It got me.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite in the
That was,
whole
that
show.
was so well done.
Yeah, I had like a similar experience with my own mother, and I've always felt really close to women in my life, my sister, my mom. But it was beautiful because it kind of brought me back to that moment. And my experience looked a little bit different, but ultimately, once again, it was just like so like beautiful because I think it gives the example of like that's what we should see. That is what we should expect of a parent, right? A mother to their child. But I think it was also healing for a lot of people who maybe didn't get that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I really think that this show, so many people can be like, oh, this is just smut, whatever. And I'm like, this show is changing the world. This
It,
show is
yeah.
rooted, this show is healing people. And it goes to show you like the dynamics of something like this when you have incredible people, minds, Rachel, Jacob, the whole team, Brendan, everyone working on this. their hearts are so big and their minds just as big. You know, they know what they're
Right.
doing. So,
You nailed
yeah.
it.
What are you looking forward to seeing in season 2 of the show?
Oh my. I'm so curious how they are gonna like elaborate in the book on the characters and out of the book, because they did it with season 1, right? They like Jacob decided to kind of take a little look into aspects that Rachel didn't necessarily kind of describe in detail in her book.
Yeah.
So, for example, my character.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like robot time.
Yeah, like just this unnamed person, and all of a sudden, boom, I have a job and and a pathway. Um, but like, I'm curious how they, because reading The Long Game, there are so many new characters,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, how are they going to, especially, I don't know the details yet, how many episodes they're going to have in
Right.
season 2, if it's going to be the same 6.
Mm.
And within that same timeline, so much of me hopes that it's more episodes and they're longer.
Yeah.
But because it's like there's so many new
I mean, there's
characters,
so much more
There's
to
so
it.
much to do. Yeah.
there's so much to do, and like, but I also feel like there's so much value in expanding on characters that already came into season 1.
Yeah.
I obviously don't just say that bias or selfishly because I'm like, bring Sasha back. But there's a lot of characters that people are already like stimulated and intrigued by in season 1 that they're like, wait, I want to know more. I want to see more. Or people talk about, I want to see flashbacks, right? Because there's a whole interesting universe prior to actually the happenings of Heated Rivalry timeline. And people are excited about that. And then there's all these new characters that they're going to like have to bring in and flesh out and whatever, while also just developing the main storyline with Shane and Ilya. So I'm curious how they're going to do that. But the moment I'm most looking forward to in season 2 and The Long Game, and the one that I got the most emotional over, was when the boys were married by the kids, by the
Oh my
children.
God. Yes.
That destroyed me. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
it really, God, we as adults make things so complicated.
Yeah.
We really do. And so it was just like this insanely like humbling experience to read through.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what that'll be like on screen.
And
Right.
they're gonna. I can't. Yeah. I
Yeah.
can't wait to see that on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let him
Beautiful.
go.
Yeah.
Okay. Was there a song in the show that really turned your head from the show?
Oh yeah. I mean, they were all so amazing. I
Yeah.
loved all the like in the music. And now we have the official
Sure.
soundtrack.
Right.
Like I love
Wild.
it. So incredible. But holy crap, I love the song at I think it was the end of episode 4. All the things she said. That was
Yeah.
episode 4,
Mhm.
right? Yeah. Um, in
The
the
remix.
the remix, yeah,
Yeah.
with the
Remix.
club and everything.
Yeah.
Not only was the song just so good, but it was so perfect with that scene and everything
Yeah.
happening. I was like, oh my God. The show really makes you feel things, you know?
It really does.
Does. It
But
does.
the books too, obviously. The books, all
But it's different.
It
it
is.
is.
It is.
And I say this to people, like they will never be the same or equal. They're different. And that's
Yeah.
like the brilliant thing about it, right? Like, I just recently started getting back into like writing my own, and like the difference, and I write screenplays too, but the difference between writing a screenplay and writing like a narrative book is like, they're
Yeah.
completely
It's a
opposites
different
in some
skill
ways, but
set. Yeah.
Yeah.
well, because like one is
Yeah.
like writing for the visual, like
Right.
it's almost like this is a service to what it's trying to be, which is eventually like, what we're gonna capture on picture.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The other one is like you get to expand on all these thoughts in the heads of these characters.
Right.
Um, that like, while for film and TV, the rule is like show, don't tell.
Hmm.
Like a lot of screenplay writers say show, don't tell, meaning like the visual is going to do so much more storytelling than like it's too on the nose when people are constantly just in dialogue saying what is. While in the book, you say everything.
Yeah.
Right.
You say
Yeah.
all the detail, right? It's like it's very interesting. So yeah, the experience of being in a book and the way it absorbs you is different than like the way a series can also just really hit you.
Yeah.
But
What was the most Canadian thing you noticed on the show?
oh gosh, the Quebecois accents. I oh my gosh, like it's just so distinct.
Yeah.
You hear French and then there's Quebecois. I'm just kidding. I could say that because, I'm
Yeah.
Canadian, but like
You
we
can
have a
say.
we have a lot of like French, there's Acadians as well on the East Coast, and there's a lot of different French groups in Canada. Obviously, Quebecois is, the biggest and proudest. And but like it's just like immediately I think it was the that interview with Shane on the show,
Oh,
and
right.
then do you remember that one?
Yeah.
In the interview where she just was speaking, and immediately I'm like, I just put myself in the shoes of someone who wasn't Canadian. I'm like, I wonder what this is like for someone like an American or just somewhere else in the world listening to this right now. Like maybe for some people they'd just be like, oh, that's French. But I think there's a lot of people who are like, what?
Yeah. For me, it was the guy who came into the smoothie shop asking if that was Scott Hunter. And I'm like, you are not from New York.
Right. No, clearly not.
Oh, that's true. Like
Yeah.
just like the way people go about it. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, like the
The
way
whole New
America,
York.
the whole New York part. Yeah, no, truly. Um, yeah, the way a human being goes about themselves in New York is much different than Canada in general, but even just other states and stuff, other
Oh,
cities.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Um, okay. What prop did you really want to take home?
My shirt.
Mm.
I'm
Awesome shirt.
like yeah, and I'm pretty sure it was like the most expensive article of clothing. Correct me if
Crazy.
I'm wrong. I've heard
I
here,
didn't
there, and
know it.
everywhere.
I did read the article about your shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I mean, that just I already had ideas about my character, but then when I heard that, I was like, oh wow, he's yeah, I still wish I should message Hannah.
Yeah, see if they still have it.
Hmm.
I'm sure we could get our hands on it again. It should
Yeah.
make a comeback in season 2. Even if I'm not there, bring the shirt back.
Bring the
At least
shirt.
the shirt. At least the shirt.
Yeah.
That would be fun. That would be amazing.
Ooh.
What can fans of Sasha watch you in next? Do you have any upcoming projects you'd like to talk about?
Yes, actually, a couple that are coming out. So I'm in season 4 of SkyMed, which is a Canadian TV series kind of led by Paramount Plus now. I think it'll be coming out in the spring, so I'm in like the pilot episode of that one, 401. And then there's a new series. I don't know if they're still hiding the name of it or not, but it's a new TV series with Brooke Shields.
Oh, because you were in Nova Scotia.
Yes. Yes. And so I was there shooting that, and I'm in one of the episodes there as well. It's a comedy. It's hilarious. Um, I have like a thick Southern accent on that one too. So,
Okay. I'm from the South, so
oh yeah. Oh great. So just be ready. It's,
well, too.
Oh, I can't say much more about it, but yeah, it'll be good. I don't think they've been posting much about it, so we'll see.
Okay.
But then the one I'm most excited for is Lunar Sway, and
Yes.
it's this Canadian feature that we shot in 2024 out west, um, kind of like in the Okanagan Valley, which in BC is kind of like we have this rare strip that gets really hot in the summer, and it's technically a desert.
Oh,
And
cool.
so it really just sold as like, somewhere like New Mexico and stuff. And it's amazing. It's like this kind of dark comedy, queer coming of age story that's just so quirky and so real. Um, I cried when I wrapped when I wrapped up.
Wow.
That's how amazing it was. Like not just as an experience for me as an actor, but like you really do go through an emotional experience when you're a part of something you believe in.
Yeah.
And I had that experience with Heated Rivalry as well. Obviously, my character is a little bit more wild and, less directly in support of like whatever is happening. But in the same way with Lunar Sway, like yeah, it's just such an incredible story, and it just really shows like how weird human beings are, but in like a really beautiful way because we are more weird than any of us will admit.
Yeah.
I think weirdness is what gives things flavor and intrigue. But yeah, it's going to be good. And so I play once again in that movie kind of like an ex-lover character. God, is this my lot in life?
You're you're typecast.
Is this my lot in life? How about a current one? That would be nice. Hey, if Sasha gets Sasha should have someone in season 2 if he comes back.
He needs a side B plot kind of.
Yeah,
They could just
yeah,
tell Sasha's story. Where is that?
A
right.
spin-off.
Yeah, we
They
need to
need
tell
to.
Rachel.
I
She's
know.
a Russian
Yeah,
hockey player.
she could have her. She could have the rest of her life is set out if she just starts writing books, kind of branching out from Shane
Agree.
Yeah.
and everyone. Yeah, and just
Yeah.
the audience
Sasha
is already
shows
there
up in
for it.
Unrivaled.
Yeah, yeah, we'll show up for anything.
I no, I let me say this. I'm actually curious now if she's doing that because you got to remember she no like because she wrote the first 2 books before this all went down, the show.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
Right. And so even as I'm reading descriptions in the long game, I'm like, wait, that's not true anymore as established by the show. And I'm like, oh wait, so they're gonna have to like tweak
You're
that,
gonna
which
have to
is
do
no
this.
problem at all.
Mhm.
But now she's writing the third book of them
And the show exists.
and the show exists. So like it's gonna be interesting what she
It's
chooses
gonna
to
be
kind of bring
really,
in and stuff.
Yeah.
yeah. That makes it completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very cool.
so exciting.
Okay, so we always finish with a bunch of rapid fire questions,
Mhm.
where you just pick this or that out of two things.
Okay.
And these are from various books in the series. So if they don't make sense,
Don't worry.
don't
Okay.
worry about it. Just pick one.
Sorry.
Coke or ginger ale?
Coke.
This one's going to be easy for you. All the things she said or bad things.
All the things she said.
The chair drag or Scott lifting hip?
Chair drag.
Visiting an art gallery or going to a live music show.
Going to a live music show.
Tuna melts or burgers?
Burgers. I do like tuna, but not
Tuna
that
melts.
much.
How about a hotel or hookup building in the plateau?
Wait, I'm sorry. Define hookup building in the plateau.
Well, in the books, as you'll recall, Shane bought a building for them to hook up in. So would you rather go to a hotel or a hookup building in the plateau?
Or a building that someone bought.
A building that someone bought for
Specifically for
you.
that. That is too crazy for me. Hotel.
Okay.
Hotel.
It's funny because some people be like, no, someone bought me a building, I'm going there. And other people are like, that is
People are
creepy.
like, that is
No.
stalker behavior, and I would never go in there. So yeah, but we get funny answers for
Yeah.
that. Okay, the last one, cake pops or cookie dough ice cream.
Oh, cookie dough ice cream.
Yeah, you got to read Role Model to see what the deal
Yeah.
is with
Oh,
Role
okay.
model.
Okay. I will. I know. I'm slowly. I'm making it through the series. I'm a really slow reader. Gosh, I don't know if it's because like ADHD and stuff, but yeah, I take my time. Even like the long game, I was like, even though like, you're like enthralled and stuff, it's just like, I swear, like I'm that person who might like read something and then realize I didn't actually hear any of it because my mind was thinking about something, and I'm like, crap, I have to go back and reread it. But
That's totally.
Thank you so much, Kaden, for joining us. Check back soon for more Heated Rivalry love on Loon Lovers Live.
thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
Thank
Yay.
you.